we have to talk about this. Now, Shanghai, you've probably seen, if you're keeping track of what's going on, everyone's celebrating that Shanghai is open again, but it's not. It's a lie. It's not open at all. First of all, I've been seeing a lot of articles saying, like, this restaurant for the first time has opened its doors once again. Wrong. They haven't opened their doors. A lot of restaurants have opened, but only for takeaway only.
Oh, I wish we had that clip of that dude freaking out.
Which one?
Remember that one? We saw it in a Lola Farley video.
Oh,
the
that
guy's
guy.
walking up to all these people that are celebrating in the streets with like communist stuff, and they're like, "We're back open." He's like, "What are you guys doing? We're not open."
No.
And everyone's like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, it's still very strict.
Yeah.
A lot of our friends that are in Shanghai still don't leave their apartments, even if they've been given the option, because right now you have to, if you go out, you have to go get these nucleic acid tests, okay? And you have to stand in these lines. We're going to show the lines in a minute, but the annoying thing that's happening now is if you look there, it says from the Shanghai Daily, starting from June 1st, Shanghai will lower the price for nucleic acid testing at public medical
that's
institutions.
COVID testing for everyone.
From 25 to 16 yuan, okay? But don't worry, they'll remain free until June 30. Okay.
Always worried.
So okay, here's where it's a problem. Look, 16 RMB, how much is that in dollars? It's not much.
It's about 250.
Yeah, okay. But in China, 16 yuan can buy you a meal.
Yeah,
Okay?
for sure, a cheap meal.
It'll buy you a nice coffee. Yeah. It'll buy you something. But
If you're in a city with coffee.
yeah, but here's the thing, right? The government is forcing people to take these tests now, these 72-hour tests. If you don't take them, you won't be allowed to go into public places. You won't be allowed out on the streets. You have to keep your testing record up to date. Mm-hmm. It's a forced thing. But now you're being forced to pay for something the government is forcing you to do. Do you see the problem with this?
Correct.
So now there's no escaping it. The government's like, okay, everybody needs to get tested if you want to do anything. But you're going to have to pay for it out of your own pocket, which is kind of ridiculous, especially since the lower income people in China earn so little that this 16 RMB would be a massive hit.
It's big because if you think about it, if you're pulling in like 500 RMB per month, 16 each time, it'll bankrupt you.
No shit, and especially since you need to get it every 72 hours.
Yeah.
That's something you don't take into account.
Every other day, every 3 days. Whatever.
So basically every 3 days you're out there getting another test. Now, that's not even the worst part, is it's been a disaster. Right. The lines are ridiculous. You have to stand in line for 2-3 hours at a time. It's absolutely ridiculous just to get tested. Anyway, something creative that's come out of all these tests, because other than the fact that you have to get officially tested every day in Shanghai, at least up until now where they got the 72-hour tests, people have had to take home tests as well.
Oh, this is an antigen test.
Yeah, this is a home test.
Antigen test.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see if you have the antigens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you take these home tests before you go down for your PCR test. It's been this ridiculous thing where you have to take a home test every day, upload it to your Zhifu Bao or whatever it is.
This is to see if you have been infected at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And then if that's clear, then you can go down for your real test. It's been a mess. So this particular individual took all of his tests, his used up tests, because they come in like a little plastic tray looking thing. And look what he managed to make out of it.
Freaking amazing.
It's great. Take a look. Like a fully functioning toy shotgun.
Out of antigen test. Tell me that's not
That's
badass.
freaking awesome. Like, that's what happens. That's ingenuity right there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I have to say, Chinese people are very good at pragmatism and ingenuity.
Yeah,
just in
exactly.
general, great at like making stuff.
Just making stuff. You give them, they can make it. You know, won't invent anything new.
Well,
okay?
that's not. And again, that's completely government stifling.
Yeah, the government stifling. I'm talking about like in those, but absolutely capable of doing many great things.
Yeah,
and like that is a great thing. I think taking antigen tests, turning them into a functioning shotgun.
That's pretty impressive.
It's incredible. Yeah. So, here we've got another little thing, which is...
Yeah, this is a report from Jilin. So this is north... We have a lot to do with Jilin, by the way.
Yeah.
And just, we seem to always be reporting on Jilin.
Well, Jilin's...
We spent a lot of time there.
Jilin's still locked down, isn't it?
It's a huge lockdown place.
I mean, like the whole province is locked down.
Province,
The whole province. It's like if you took one state in America.
It is. It's like if you took Jilin, a good equivalent would be like if you took Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and you just
or New York.
locked it down.
Yeah.
Just say like, okay, that entire place, no one's allowed in or out.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Other than the fact that you got this brain dead.
I just put that next to it.
Yeah, I know. Testing rocks.
They're literally testing. If you're listening, there is a dabai, which is like a big stormtrooper, like one of those hazmat suit wearing people in China, and they're COVID testing walls.
Yes.
And the worst part about this is that there are people there to film it.
Yes.
Like, so it's not.
Well, it's like rocks in a quarry. That's what they're testing.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It's rocks in a quarry. I'm picturing them using them to make something like a building potentially. But anyway, on the left, this is what's important.
Yeah, this is what we really want to show you.
So basically, what's going on is if you miss your PCR test, so your test for nucleic acid, what do you say? COVID test.
You get called downstairs. You have to take a test.
Yeah, imagine you line up in the street for hours, and you're like, okay, this person missed 2 days in a row for whatever reason. They slept in, too lazy, whatever, right? What happens is you'll actually get a 500 RMB fine. Now, that doesn't sound that bad. I mean, that's only like $80, right?
Yeah.
But what accompanies the $80 fine is 10 days imprisonment, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know if that's in a jail cell. It's implied that it's a jail cell, but it could be in a quarantine camp as well. Yeah. So you get locked up for 10 days and then an $80 fine, right? But also, and this is also in Jilin, right? I'm just translating this here on the fly. If you if you miss the PCR test twice in a row as well, you'll be on a social credit system list. Yeah. Now it's not listed as that. It's like basically an immoral person.
Yeah, you'll be immoral, and your details will be published publicly. So you'll be publicly shamed.
Yes. So you publicly shamed on a public list if you do it. So you're basically like, a piece of shit that everyone's be like, ooh, can't believe they would harm our. Because the thing is, they're labeling these kind of people as domestic terrorists, by the way. Yeah. Because you're harming and endangering everyone in public. The problem is, we got footage from people in lockdown. Back to Shanghai.
Yeah, we'll go back to Shanghai. I just once again want to say that I'm amazed that rocks now have lungs in China.
Yes.
Again, this is not the correct way to test things. If this form of testing was effective, right? Like rubbing your little swab on an inanimate object, why can't they just do that with people? Why can't they just like, all right, let me just rub it on your hand or something?
Because they have claimed COVID comes from literally a billion different things.
I know, but it's just, it's so dumb. It's just like, we're just going to do things to say we did it so that our boss just kind of leaves us alone.
Now it's just quotas.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. We tested all the rocks. They're safe.
Yeah.
It's like, what else can we test? How about all those leaves on that tree? One by one,
Before they staple them on.
Yes, after stapling them on, yeah. Anyway, it's just the absurdity of testing freaking rocks in a quarry that have been like cut out and,
We have leaf staple as a sound file.
I think we need it.
Like a 2-second one.
So anyway, back to Shanghai. Remember these 72-hour tests that people can get now. So if you want to go out there and you want to go and get your shopping or whatever, do your things, go and walk on the street a little bit, you need to have this test done, right?
Yeah.
But in order to get that test done, look what you have to do. This is actually actual footage that's been sent to us from Shanghai.
Yeah, this is from someone, actually.
Yeah. Again, it's like a mad rush. Look how everybody's so tightly packed together. Cheek to jowl. They are bumping into each other. They are pushing. They're shoving. They're breathing on each other. They're all physical contact with each other, which freaking negates the entire purpose of everybody being locked down in quarantine in the first place. Doesn't it? And this has to happen every 72 hours?
Fail.
Stupidness.
That's a massive L on the government. Sorry, guys.
Seriously. You're posting your L's in public here. Look at this crap. I mean, anyone with common sense would realize that this is the wrong way to do things.
No, it's a massive failure. And it's crazy how publicly acknowledged this is now. A lot of people in China are talking about, like, this is potentially like what's going to lead to not regime change, but change within the regime, because it's been such a failure.
It's huge.
But it's being shuffled around in that, it's not Xi Jinping's fault. Oh, it's not this person's fault.
Of course. It can never be anyone's fault except someone it's not their fault.
Correct. That's,
you know what I mean?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why this leadership doesn't work.
So, like I was saying, there are friends of mine that are currently in Shanghai who refuse to go out of their apartments because that means they have to partake in these ridiculous lines where you get crushed by...
For hours.
Yeah, and you have to stand for hours and hours. There are propagandists going out there saying, oh, it's so quick and easy. You just need to do... It's all bullshit. Yeah. It's been very badly implemented.
I mean, someone sent this out of their window.
Yeah, it's been very poorly implemented, okay? Here's another one. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, they refuse to participate in this because you have to go stand in these queues for hours, okay, to get the stupid test. You're again exposing yourself to potential infection because there's so many people crowded together.
Sure.
It's just a huge mess up all around. It's just absolutely awful.
Right.
So when people say Shanghai has opened up, it's a lie. It's people are kind of allowed out on probation, if that makes sense. They're allowed to walk around a little bit and must always have their... Look how long this queue is, okay?
Yeah.
Do you want to stand in that queue for however many hours just to have the right to perhaps go into a shop, even if one is open or not?
Maybe not.
Yeah. Anyway.
No.